Some more tips then for doing the job interview itself. We're nearing the end of our list of tips, and we've ended last session with don't be afraid to ask for some time for the procedural questions. We have the example sentence here. Can I take 30 seconds to write some things down? But also do not forget that other very valuable sentence. Please allow me, can I just think out loud here? Or, well, just thinking out loud here, and then you're off. A very powerful way of trying to answer a question. And you can try and mix that with your body language. If that is confident as well during those seeming breaks, you will still seem like somebody who is aware of yourself, but in a positive way. Straight posture will do the trick. So when you sit on a chair, especially when you're not holding a table, make sure that you keep your back straight. Remain eye contact. Do not start to eyeball the other person, but do look at the other person and try to match the body language of the recruiter. This, of course, does not mean that you have to turn into a 6-year-old that is exactly going to copy what the other person is doing. But research has shown that if you, for instance, cross your arms when the other person is crossing arms, when you take the table in a similar way, or when you cross your legs in the same way, that this conveys an idea of rapport, that you create a common kind of, go so far as to say identity, but to some kind of sharedness, and that helps. So body language, confidence, eye contact, straight posture. Quite a number of people wonder how about handshakes. It is okay to give a firm handshake. Make sure that the webs of your hands do meet and that it's a firm handshake that you give. And that you can actually initiate handshakes. Definitely in Belgium it's okay to enter a room and as you introduce yourself to reach out first and to shake hands. You can then move to a chair, and if no chair is offered to you, you can make a slight gesture, making it look as it's an attempt to sit down while you're looking at the other person, and that person will no doubt then offer you a chair. And then you can sit down and the conversation can then start. The ninth tip is some input on impression management. All of us engage in impression management. It's a psychological term that refers to the idea that you try to make other people think that you are the best that you can be. It's about self-promotion. Now, when you're in a stress situation, this form of self-promotion, making other people think that you're really good, can be exaggerated. And you exaggerate your main characteristics seemingly. If you're pretty self-confident, naturally, in these situations, you may even go a bit overboard, and your self-confidence can then border or move into arrogance territory. Whereas helpful people can become over-helpful. If you know this, and if you recognize this behavior while you're doing the interview, you just may take notice of it and try to tone it down. Try to come to your natural self, if possible. Tip number 10 then. Often recurring question, how do I discuss pay? Well, there are several strategies out there, but the main thing is always focusing on the big picture. There is a total package that you can get. It's not just about the salary itself. You also get extra benefits, the perks, company cars, internet that is paid for you, cell phones, perhaps you can get a training course for free, etc. Also, your career, how will your career develop over the years is an important factor, of course, on the total amount of pay that you'll be making over your entire career. So, keeping an eye on that, we need to take into consideration quite many different features. For starters, perhaps there's not much negotiation space in the first place, because starter space are often fixed and there's not much to negotiate, apart from perhaps perks and other things. The main thing is to get to clear expectations from both sides, probably pretty early on already, and at the end of a first or already in a second interview, to make sure that you do not waste your time, both the recruiter and the applicant, in a procedure that neither of you is interested in. Finally then, personal questions. Can women sidestep questions about whether they have plans to have babies, whether they are married? The answer is quite simply yes. In Belgium, employers are not allowed to ask you those questions, so if you do get them, you can politely sidestep the issue and say that, well, you have not really given it that much thought and that your focus is on the job.